Welcome everyone to the barn here at Southern Virginia University, where we get ready for tip-off of the first game of our doubleheader. The Southern Virginia University Knights women's basketball team hosting the Wolverines of Wesley College. Art Furler here with Mike Harmon. Mike, this game has been postponed a couple of times now. I'm sure both teams are excited to get out here and play it and get it in the books. If it's your team, which one would you rather be, the home or the away?
Well, right now you'd rather be the home team. Wesley has been on the road for the last 3 days. They went and played up at Mary Washington, stayed overnight on Sunday, and then are coming in here on Monday. So they've been away from home for a little while. It's not really good to be away from home that long. You don't get to sleep in your own bed. You don't get in a routine. So it's I think it's going to be good for the Knights today.
Well, a pretty close contest. This is the second game that these teams have played. The Knights first played at Wesley and dropped that game. The men's team did the same. Do you expect a different outcome today? Well,
we're hoping for a doubleheader sweep here. That'll put the Knights squarely in position on the men's side to go ahead and secure a seed in the Capital Conference. The women still aren't mathematically eliminated. A win tonight, a win at Penn State Harrisburg on Saturday, and then when Frostburg comes in, would give them a chance to capture that last spot, the 6th seed, as there's about 3.
Just had the starting lineups come in. First for the Wesley College Wolverines, number 1, Brianna Johnson. Number 4, Tiana Gibbs. Number 10, Manche Newsom Murray. Number 22, Brittany Kearns. And number 25, Tiara White. Mike, who do you have for the Knights?
For the Knights starting today will be number 20, Jamila Gamby. Number 22, Morgan Hartmanson. Number 23, Autumn Kramer. 31, Larissa McFarland. And 41, Shelby Windsor.
So some familiar names on the Knights side. We'll have to see if they're able to get a hot start here. Certainly the name of the game for them in the past has been that pressure defense. When they're able to do it effectively, they can really cause some issues for opposing offenses, and that defense creates offense. But when it doesn't work, it fails fabulously.
That's the key, is how effective will they be in that. Now, we've seen them change up a couple strategies in some past games where they've gone from the man-to-man pressure to a zone full court press and have some success with it. Also, is going to be one of the big keys is, can the Knights put the ball in the basket enough today to beat the Wesley Wolverines?
That's an important thing in basketball, putting that ball in the basket.
Very important.
The Knights start with the tip here from Windsor. She drives in and kicks out, and looks like that'll be a quick foul to get things started off. 15 seconds into the game, that's going to be Tara White getting her first.
And Wesley's not a very deep team, so if the Knights can get them in foul trouble early in this game, it'll be well for them in the second half.
Yeah, 11 players on the roster. That inbound. Lob across. Gamby dishes out. Kramer not going to take it. Good look inside. And the glass not kind to Windsor.
And there again, we see Hartmanson being very unselfish, had wide open three-point shot, and passed it up to try to get a better shot.
And the basket coming back the other way for Johnson, and the Wolverines strike first. Knights looking to answer but unable to do so, and it looks like this is going to be a track meet again. And great defense that time by Windsor, especially out front on the guard. Gibbs not committing the foul and just forcing the turnover.
And we've seen in the past where Shelby's really gone for the block there and come across the body, trying to bring the hands down. That time just straight up, and the ball actually just deflected off of her into the offensive player.
Knights trying to work down low, trying to get Windsor in. Trying to get her started in this offense early, and that foul
on Jamila Gamby, her first.
One apiece, and the Wolverines now with possession. Throw it away. Larissa McFarland playing safety there. Comes up with the pick. And there's the basket down low. Shelby Windsor. gone to her a couple times. She's struggled with her shot at times this season, but when she warms up, she can really create some efficiency. That an ugly throw. And it looks like caught it on the sideline, I'm thinking.
I guess she stepped on the sideline as she was touching the ball.
Not a pretty pass, just looked like trying to lob it ahead.
Again, a lot of indecision on the Wesley attack right now.
And 3 seconds in the lane.
That's almost amazing there, Art. We've almost not seen that called all season long, maybe once or twice. To see it now,
we see all kinds of calls in this building that we don't see a lot of other places. And that one is going to save a basket. So if there's such thing as a smart foul, that's it.
Yeah, again, that's your senior out there making sure that if she's going to foul, it's not even getting close to getting up toward the basket.
I'll tell you, I also like the hard foul, but then immediately helping them up, the handshake between players, just making sure everybody knows there's no hard feelings here.
Yeah, Larissa's a very classy player. She's going to foul you hard, but she's going to help you up afterwards. And there we saw that trap. Usually you trap with only 2 players, Art. We saw the trap come with 3, and that left a wide open lane to the basket when she split it.
1 for 2 on the free throws there, and Windsor comes away with the rebound. The Knights looking to run out and played just off the foot, looks like, of McFarland. And the layup no good. Second attempt is good. And that basket good for Brianna Johnson.
And if Johnson is going to have free reign, this is going to be a long day for the Knights. If there's a
shot wide.
If there's a star on the Wesley team, it's going to be Johnson.
Pull up and a short jumper is good. And things turning quickly. That Mara Binkley. And there's going to be a foul at the other end. And that's going to go on Binkley.
Well, she wanted to make sure she gets in the scorebook.
Stat sheet
on
both ends.
On all cases, right? All sides.
In and out. The free throw by Windsor. Second one coming.
Gamby had a hair tie on her wrist. The referees are reminding her, hey, you got to have that off of there.
Second one, much prettier than the first. Windsor has all 3 points now for the Knights. Soft thrown pass. The Wolverines having a difficult time breaking the press, but able to do it. And that one, Windsor just ripped the ball away from Gibbs. The Knights on the attack. Shot from the corner by Kramer. No good. And Gamby goes to the ground with it.
And unfortunately, that's just one of those rules that you start on your feet and get to the floor. It's going to call it a travel.
Good defensive pressure. And a fortuitous bounce. Things go the way of the Wolverines. Ooh. A little bit of a push there perhaps by Johnson, but nothing called either way. The basket is good.
And we're seeing this man-to-man pressure that the Knights are trying to put in the backcourt. And 3 go to the ball. It leaves the other 2 in a very precarious situation.
Fouls starting to pile up. Johnson now with her first.
Yeah, and if we keep on going like this, we'll get to that 2-shot foul very quickly in this first quarter. Willette's entering the game after a great game at St. Mary's. She hit 6 3-pointers in that game.
I'm pretty sure that's 18 points, Mike.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
Nice
great
drive
math
to the basket that time. Autumn Kramer kind of creates and hits the off-balance shot off the glass. Great block that time by Gamby, and then gets sent to the ground for her trouble. Gambi right back up, off on the drive, and makes the layup. That's Gambi. We've said it before, when something bad happens, she's gonna get up and either do something silly or make a huge play. That time, she made the play. That ball bouncing all over the place. It will stay with Wesley College.
Little pinball action going on out there.
Yeah. So 7-9. It was 3-9 just a little while ago. So the Knights closing that distance, keeping it close. Sometimes their pace can wear down other teams as the game continues. So if they can keep it close in the first couple of quarters, they certainly improve their chances.
Oh, nice little pocket pass.
So right now it is Brianna Johnson 8, the Knights 7. Stepping into it is Willette. Shot is off. Gambi fighting for it. Can't quite get it. Johnson again. It's a lot of oh, don't see that terribly often.
Well, let's see which girl's going to jump up there and get that ball now.
Coach Roberts? I'm thinking Coach Roberts.
Oh, she's just
that
going to
is
get
really in there.
Yep, they're just going to get it stuck even deeper now.
Really in there. There we go.
Again, leave it to the senior to know what to do.
Senior leadership. There it is.
It's a jump ball, so it goes over to the team on the possession arrow. And because it hits the rim and gets stuck on the rim, it's a 30-second shot clock reset.
Oh, great defense by Willette.
Oh, she saved a definite 2.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, they weren't going to need any of that 30 seconds if that pass was completed.
Not at all.
And instead, they'll lob over the top and set up the offense. But only for a moment. The runner is good by Gibbs.
You know, and it looks like the Wesley Wolverines are initiating all this fast pace more than the Knights are.
Not something the Knights have been used to a lot of this season. A lot of ball movement.
And again, another 3
seconds in the lane.
That must be the call for today. We found it early.
Substitutions coming in. That's Windsor back in to relieve Kramer. Yeah, there have been some pet calls throughout this season. Like Stacey O'Neill also on the court for Wesley. And coming all over that ball. Not sure. It hasn't been pretty, but Wesley getting the better end of it so far, to be sure. Fighting for it, able to maintain the possession. Shot no good. Willette comes up with it. And looking ahead to McFarland. Lobbing across to Gambi. Gambi stops, pops, and makes it. Not known for her offensive prowess, but I think she's 2 for 2. And the lob back at the other end, that's going to be a foul on Windsor. She's not real happy about it.
Again, a little bit of confusion on where people are supposed to be on that press. And then Shelby's thinking she was supposed to be on top, and Coach Roberts thinks she's supposed to be on the back end of it.
First free throw is good, and just like that, Kramer back in. Windsor's really been, it's been a revolving door over here on the sideline for her. Good to get some breathers, I guess, but difficult to get in rhythm. Is that a fair assessment?
Very fair assessment.
The press coming back the other way now as the Wolverines start to press on the Knights. Willette rifles that one inside. Deflected, so it'll stay at this end.
And without Windsor in there, they become really small out there. So now gang rebounding is going to be.
That one thrown away, and Gambi will be called for the foul. A quick number 2 for her, just 6.5 minutes into the ball game. Unfortunately, familiar territory for her.
Unfortunately, familiar territory.
And Windsor back through the revolving door.
Well, to be fair, Wesley has been sending subs in and out very liberally also.
Very true. Speaking of which, that's Stroud back in. And the step through the basket's no good. And right back in the game, and Windsor picks up an early second foul. So that's a very bad situation. The Knights now with 2 players already with a couple of fouls. And that will bring Kimberly Eads to the scorer's table to check in after the missed free throw from Gibbs.
And here's the very concerning part for the Knights. The Wesley Wolverines are extending this lead without their 2 best players in the game right now in Johnson and Newsom Murray. But it looks like the Knights may have found who to foul.
Yeah, indeed. Eads coming away with that rebound, making her presence immediately felt, coming off the bench as well. Working the ball around, pull up, and the jumper is good for Larissa McFarland. She's on the board for the first time. And the Knights set up the press. Who looks ahead? In and out, good defense by Eads. Not fouling, and then coming away with the rebound. 11-15, the game's still close. The Knights able to close potentially to 1 possession on this trip down the floor. At zone offense, the Knights able to snap back and get around it. Good deep. Wow, what a great rebound and then turnaround. McFarland, she's got the last 4 points for the Knights, and they are back in striking distance. Eads with a 1-on-4, blocks the shot. Kimberly Eads comes up with a stop, 1-on-4, just when the Knights need it. If they can get a stop on this possession, that would be amazing.
Yeah, Kimberly did a great job of not over committing to the ball. Actually baited them into that shot. Wow, what a high arcing shot.
Very true. Stroud makes that one, her first points of the game.
There was
Willette, good look. And that's, you have to imagine that's what they're looking for. McFarland, I believe, with the last 6 for the Knights now, and she's gotten a couple of 3-second calls. That's what they want, though, is to find her down in that back door.
Well, she's a very tough matchup.
Eads again came over and slid in to help, but needs help on the backside and does not get it. The Knights now back on the offense. Going to McFarland, out to Willette. Just short. Stripped, though, by McFarland. Willette again fighting. And that's going to be a foul. It's going to go on Brittany Kearns, her first foul. So the Wolverines with 4 team fouls, the Knights with 5. But the important thing, the Knights, or for the Wolverines, they have 1 apiece on 4 players. 2 of them, one of those not on a starter, whereas the Knights, 2 apiece on a couple of very important players. Eads again, caught trying to guard more than one person. Unable to do so as we're now under a minute, and the lead's back out to 6. Thrown away by Kramer. And then putting the speed on. Kramer, though, comes back. Not willing to give up on that after making the mistake. Able to come back and make the defensive stop at the other end.
And it looked like O'Neal thought she had the free and easy layup as Kramer just shut her down.
Nothing easy in the CAC, Mike.
Nothing. Especially here in the barn, right?
Yeah. A lot of contact there, no call either way. The shot is missed. And looks like the Knights have the opportunity to hold for the last shot on Wilcox going in. We did on that last dead ball have Nicole Muse and Shea Wilcox check into the lineup. And we'll also have Monshea Newsom Murray back in. 12 seconds. Wilcox with the ball, throws it away. Johnson loses the handle for the minute, and then a trip.
And that'll send him to the free throw line.
That's going to be on Muse.
And that was very fortunate for Wesley, as they had 4 players in the same spot trying to grab the ball.
Oh, and with 1.3 seconds as well. First free throw is up and good for Alexis Stroud. That'll also bring in Christina Siegmiller. Both of them good. And that is how we will end the first quarter. The Knights trailing 15-23 after one. Mike, what jumps out at you without seeing the stats yet as far as the first quarter?
Well, the pace of play that Wesley's trying to play with, they're the ones that are attacking more than the Knights are. We're seeing them get out on the fast breaks, and the Knights are kind of trailing behind on it. I think it caught them a little bit by surprise. Hopefully in the second quarter they can rectify things, especially on the defensive end, by not giving up so many easy layups on the backside rebounds.
Yeah, I completely agree. The other thing, I'm still stuck on this 2-3 second calls in the first quarter.
Well, they were correct. I mean, Larissa was in there, but we've never seen 2 in 1 quarter.
Yeah, very, very.
Maybe 1 a game.
Yeah. So a couple coming in pretty short order there. Love to see the referees get together here at the quarter, talk about how they can do better, while the coaches on both sides getting together with their teams. Do you think it behooves the Knight to try to keep that pace up, or try to slow the Wolverines down? They've kept it close for most of that first quarter, but then ramping up to 8 there at the end. I think that's the largest lead by either team to this point.
Well, the big key is being able to possess the ball. The Knights gave away the ball way too easily in that first quarter. We saw a couple of runouts. Fortunately for the Knights, Wesley wasn't able to connect on all the turnovers that they forced, especially in the open court, as we saw some great individual efforts defensively to get back into place.
And issue with the shot clock as we get started there. Kind of a quick start to the beginning of the second quarter. Not sure we had everybody on the same page ready for that. And there we go.
And the referee steps in and takes charge to just reset the whole clock.
It's 3 seconds. Let's go back. Willette off the mark on 3. Good look ahead. And an extra pass. We'll find a cutting Stroud. She's got 6 now.
And that's the defensive balance that we just have not seen the Knights have. No one gets back on a shot.
Knights moving the ball around well, but not always ending in a good shot. And another run out.
Oh, a nice Euro step.
Yeah. Great step through, and that's going to cause a timeout. Coach Roberts not happy with that one. That's Newsom Murray's first points of the game. And very distributed scoring. 7 players already with points in the books for the Wolverines. Yeah. They only brought 11 players, Mike.
Yeah, and that Euro step, you don't see a lot of that in the women's game. I don't care what level you're on.
Yep.
You don't see that a lot in the women's game. But again, no one's getting back. When the shot goes up for the Knights, someone has to rotate back to at least half court to slow down Wesley. And no one's doing that. All 5 of them are going to rebound. And if you don't get the rebound, the obvious thing that's going to happen is layups on the other end.
Well, and especially with as much as the Wolverines are jumping out in those passing lanes, they're creating so many turnovers that then that run out just becomes that much more dangerous. Kramer, good step through pass to Eads. I don't know that I've ever seen a shot like that, but it went in. Great awareness of where she was relative to the basket that time, Kimberly Eads. Able to connect, and that one comes away.
Yeah, all you care about is it effective?
Yep.
And it's effective if it goes through the basket and net.
I tell you, that's the second time today we've had something come this way. First it was a shooting shirt, now it's a ball. They're gunning for our cameraman over here, Parker Monson.
We're going to get Parker a little barrier to put in between them.
Kimberly Eads now pulls up from the elbow, wide left. Rebound drops right in the hands of Morgan Hartwigson, who's got her first points. We're talking about barriers and stuff here in the gym. Also, folks will notice our new scorers table. Nice to have that in here. Thanks to our athletics team for securing that, and folks in facilities for getting it set up. And wow, a 3 that time. Alexis Stroud has really come on strong here in the last few minutes of play, Mike.
Yeah, she reminds me of an old player from Detroit, Vinny, the microwave. She's come in and heated things up very quickly.
Yeah. That lead now 19-30. 8 was the largest lead just a little while ago, but has already ballooned to 11. This is the longest they've gone into the shot clock and able to convert anyway. Binkley.
Yeah, they just stretched the Knights out completely on that.
Over to the corner for Kramer. Kramer hits a 3. Both offenses starting to show some effectiveness that they lacked in the first.
Well, and things are warming up in here because it's warmed up outside.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. Certainly warmed up here in Buena Vista over the last week.
Yes, it has.
The much snow that we had before that. Look ahead. Oh, to a barely aware Nicole Muse was not looking for that one, but then came away with it. And that's a good defensive effort. Stroud breaks that up.
Those long cross-court passes, really dangerous against an active team like Wesley.
And especially a couple of them where the Knights themselves weren't looking until the ball was in the air. Very dangerous. Meredith Willett back on the floor, along with Eads, McFarland, Kramer, and Muse. Rifled that pass inside, up top, and just short the shot by Muse. The look ahead. And maybe one too many passes that time.
And jump ball called.
Okay.
Looked like they were trying to go throw the lob there. Art,
yeah, I was going to say, are we going to see an alley-oop in
Hey!
If so, why'd you not jump up and knock the ball down earlier?
Yeah, really. Why'd you make Larissa have to go and get it with another ball, right?
Right. But I'll tell you, really impressive passing by Stroud as well. She's not just a good shooter. She's really been creating a lot of offense for her team. And way too many offensive opportunities there. Johnson able to clean it up.
Like I said, without Windsor in there, the Knights are very short. They're going to have to use a lot of good technique on the offense or defensive end to box out.
Long 3 that time. Just rolls around. Good tip by Kramer, but it will go to Wesley College.
And now we're starting to see Wesley change tactics a little bit. Take some time off the clock. Maybe. One pass and a shot.
Until that time, yeah. Meredith Willett now. Kicks over to Muse. Long cross-court pass. Hartvigsen with the little teardrop, and it drops. And that's a full timeout taken by Coach Roberts. And that's going to bring some subs in. So now that the deficit is 12. And just before, or just as that was called, we saw Gamby, McFarland, and Windsor come back to the scorers table. Until that moment, no one on the court for the Knights had a foul on them. Yeah. And now we go from 0 to 5 really quickly with 2 for Gamby, 1 for McFarland, 2 for Windsor. A little bit of a gamble here with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter.
It is, and the defense that the Knights are going to have to play now is going to have to be very good position defense. No reaching in, no silly fouls, and especially on the offensive end, make sure that they're very clean if they set any type of screens.
Well, a lot of opportunity to close the gap, perhaps, as you get some of your more regular players in, but also a lot of opportunity to put yourself in a bit of a pickle for the farther the game goes on. playing defense with your feet, not your hands. I think is something you hear a lot. So risky, though.
Yeah,
so risky.
Very risky. And again, though, with these quarters, it kind of has thrown a lot of people off on the timing of when am I going to put somebody in when I'm not. You know, Coach Roberts might be feeling that without those 3 in there that the game's going to start slipping away from her before they get to the second half. And if you get too far behind, we've seen too many times where you just don't have the energy to bring it back.
This is back to the starting lineup for the Knights.
The Knights in a 1-3-1 defense.
And that shot long, Gamby able to come down with it, and it's going the other direction. That's going to be a foul on Kearns, the first Wesley player with 2 fouls now. And gosh, Mike, we went almost 5 minutes in this quarter without a foul.
Yeah, been very cleanly played this second quarter.
A lot of that perhaps because of the Knights having to scale back their aggression after getting some players in foul trouble. Hartvigsson lobs over the top to Gamby, but it is tipped away. And now off to the races. Strong finish at the basket, but does not connect. Gamby still a tenacious defender. She's just flying all over the place.
And shot clock under 10 now.
As low as we've seen it.
And
for
don't
either
know
team. Got to create something. 4, 3. Oh. And that's so heartbreaking. Such good defense for so long and then give up the layup at the end. Gamby fouled on the shot, which is good. That means she's still 2 for 2. It's going to be on Newsom Murray, her first. So the Knights able to keep the lead around this 12 margin, now down to 11. So it's started to come around for them, but they'd certainly love to have it in single digits by halftime. And they are just 1 point away from that now. Windsor steps in, gives off to Gamby. Oh.
The only thing that could happen is she slid her pivot foot there. She was trying to make that move.
Yeah, it was a heck of a steal, but just going a little too fast. Trying to create something from it. Across the timeline, and the Wolverines are on the attack. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Knights able to slow that one down quite a bit. Open 3, way short. Windsor gathers the rebound. Ahead to Gamby. Needs some help. And instead turns it over to Gibbs. Almost a friendly bounce, but instead the rebound comes down, and Johnson again, who's doing so much damage now with 14.
And you saw Windsor back off on that rebound too, knowing that if she would have continued on that course, there would have been a foul on her.
Yep.
But again, in the haste of the Knights, trying to make something happen very fast for a layup or turnover.
The pull up that time, well short. Rebound down to the Knights. Gamby does not have numbers. Finds Hartvigsson. Shot fake. And smart play that time. McFarland gets the rebound, immediately goes back up with it and draws the foul. Tiana Gibbs, just her first.
Yeah, Larissa is very quick off her feet, so by the time the other person is just coming down, she's already come down with the ball and back up.
Mm-hmm. In and out on that free throw attempt. Speaking of in and out, we have Meredith Willett coming in as Morgan Hartvigsson goes out. You thought it was going to be a commercial for In-N-Out Burger, didn't you? We don't have.
I was just hoping that we're going to have an In-N-Out burger.
Steal by Gamby. Quickly finds McFarland.
Kiss off the glass.
And the Knights apply pressure at the half court. Lead down to 9. Wow, so impressive. Stroud has quietly put together 11 points for herself. Second leading scorer in the game, and another turnover. Willette running back, unable to get out in front. That's Kearns. And what was 9 has quickly become 13 on just a couple of turnovers, Mike.
Yeah, and they're bad turnovers. Those live ball turnovers leading to layups is something the Knights can't afford to have happen.
Added style points on that for Windsor. Maybe a little more complex than it needed to be, but it went in and it was pretty. So there you go.
There you go.
And that perhaps deflected a little bit. And the foul on the floor by Mara Binkley. And she'll go back to the bench.
You know, and we've seen Binkley hit a couple of nice standstill mid-range jump shots, but anytime she's been on the move, the shots have been really off or they've been blocked.
Yep. Oh, just an unexpected pass that time, and I'll tell you, Mike, the Knights look very tired.
They do.
As these lobs have gotten ahead a couple times, looks like perhaps they could have gotten to it.
Oh, and fortunate for the Knights, Wesley coach
timeout
called
called mid-fast break.
Wow.
See, that's the kind of thing, if you were allowed to call timeouts defensively,
yeah,
that's the kind of thing where Coach Roberts would be like, oh, timeout. I'm not letting that shot go.
Exactly.
But able to be helped out enough that Coach Weirden calls for it.
Well, we do know that the Knights played on Saturday. They didn't get back until very late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Had yesterday off and hasn't been able to really do anything to stretch their legs until the game today.
Yeah, a tough, quick turnaround for them. You've talked about Wesley being on the road a little bit of a stretch as well, and also on a 3-game losing streak. There's I'm sure compounding the fact that this has been postponed a couple times and both teams feeling like they've got a good shot in this game. I have to imagine emotions are running high on both teams.
Well, and the Knights, if they win this game, that puts them in a tie in a pack trying to get that 6th position. A loss here, Wesley would jump up and be tied with St. Mary's for that 6th spot.
Nice step through. Not the best shot, though. Rebound comes down to the Knights. Hartvigsen to Windsor. Kick out. Kramer. I think there's just too many passes there.
A lot of forced passes.
Good defense that time by Hartvigsen. You know, the Knights have a lot of bodies in there for rebounding, but they're not boxing out. They're just kind of standing waiting for the ball to come down. Under a minute. Fighting for that one. Johnson comes up with it. Just more fight in the Wolverines right now. It's what Wolverines are known for, though, right?
Yep. And if you're going to try to rely on athletic ability, you better be able to jump and touch the rim if you're on the women's side. And the Knights just don't have that athletic ability. They have to use technique. I'd like to, as Willette hits the 3.
There's some technique.
Well, you know, you'd like to try to equate the Knights with Butler. Very undersized, but they are very technical.
Yep. 4 seconds. Shot will get off. And no good. I was saying before, the Knights would love to get into the locker room with the lead under 10, considering where it was at some points here in the first half. Going in at 10, not the worst thing in the world as they trail 34-44.
Yeah, but you never want to be down when you're at your own place.
No.
Especially after a long trip that Wesley's had to do. Again, not sleeping in their own bed. And like you said, the Knights look very, very tired.
Yeah, very true. They'll get a 15-minute break here. We'll take along with them, folks, the Southern Virginia Knights women's basketball team trailing 34-44 to the Wesley College Wolverines. Stick around. We'll be back with the second half here in about 15 minutes. Welcome everyone to the second half of our contest today. The Southern Virginia women's basketball team hosting the Wolverines of Wesley College, trailing 34-44 at the half. Mike, we have wonderful stats people who like giving us helpful information. As we look at the first couple of quarters already in the books, we had a couple of things that jumped out at us. Why don't you go first?
Well, for me is the three-point shooting. 1 of 9, and for Wesley, 2 of 11 for the Knights. Fast break points, not as lopsided as we thought, but the points in the paint, Wesley has doubled up the Knights 28-14.
Which is more than the lead that they have. The one for me is 10 steals for Wesley, contributing to 16 turnovers for the Knights versus 8 for Wesley. Got to clean up those turnovers if the Knights are going to have a chance in this one.
Well, we do have 2 people on the Knights shooting 100% from the field. Gamby 2 for 2 and McFarland 4 for 4. Need to find them more.
Yeah. Well, and if you'd have told me before this game that Gamby was going to come in and shoot 100%, 2 for 2 from the field and 2 for 2 from the line, I thought you were crazy. She contributes a lot to this team, but that is not typically it. Very, very impressive. And the rest of the Knights struggling, shooting about 47% overall, which is really good until you realize a couple people shooting 100%. And to work out that average, others not so much. And continuing that 100%. McFarland now hitting 3, cutting the lead to 7, and Gamby, that's what I expect her to be doing. Jumping out, and will force the jump ball. Good effort by Gamby.
Well, and for the Knights, you're going to have to really concentrate on number 1, Brianna Johnson. 18 points in that first half. If we can somehow stop her, make someone else be the hero and score the points, then the Knights can really get back into this game very quickly. As evident by Larissa McFarland, again, find her 5 of 5.
Yeah, and she's not only is she a great shooter, we've talked about her senior leadership. We've talked about how she makes smart decisions with the ball, can really create for you in a lot of ways. So if you give her the ball, maybe she's smart and takes a shot. Maybe she realizes she shouldn't and finds somebody else with it. Stoppage of play here. The referee's talking something over with the scorer's table, making sure that we get everything worked out as we should.
They had reset the shot clock back to 23.
Yep. And not going to make a difference as the quick shot drops for Tara White. Jumping in the passing lane that time.
And those long passes, especially how flat they are. If the Knights were a little bit more spaced out, extended instead of being so flat toward the basket, maybe those passes would go through.
Well, or a pass fake, get them to jump.
Oh!
And then you've got a wide open pass cut into the basket. That one rolls in and out and in and out.
That's McFarland's first miss. And not by much.
Foul, Mike. She was fouled. I saw it. I saw it on the other side of a referee and a coach and a camera person.
Yeah, well, we know Larissa doesn't take threes unless she is completely wide open.
Fair enough. Good step through by Kramer, and it rattles home. The Knights back within 7, keeping it close.
Getting back to a 1-2-2 zone for the Knights.
Speaking of jumping in passing lanes, Gamby just causing fits. Whatever side of the court she's on. And speaking of which, referee's gonna talk it over. And it's going to stick with the Wolverines. Deflected by a Knight.
Yeah, it went off of Jamila, and there was no one else around the ball there. But if Jamila could have pulled that off and had it go her way, that would have been one of the greatest feats.
5 seconds to shoot, and they do. And connect on it as well. Newsom Murray, relatively quiet.
Yeah, she hadn't scored a lot, but she has been a facilitator for Wesley. And been playing great defense.
Halfway through the shot clock. Knights. That one well off by Kramer. Good save by Gamby.
Yeah,
and the Knights reset.
Long shots, long rebounds, and the Wolverines got caught on the inside.
Johnson able to step in front of that one, and the long run out. No good, and it will go the way of Southern Virginia.
Again, though, another steal or interception, as we were talking about at halftime, and another one.
Newsom Murray, bodies up, no good.
Oh, and she thought that the ball had gone into the basket and already turned to run down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Hartvigsen with the rebound just loses control, and it'll stay with Wesley.
Well, and if the Knights can come back and pull this game out, they're going to have to really shake the hands really nicely of the Wolverines, because they've turned the ball over twice there and not had any score go against them.
Very impressive layup that time. McFarland getting that ball very quickly, slowing the pace down and putting it up. That was not an easy shot, but she made it look that way. 8 points now. The differential. Long pass over the top. Gamby steps in. Well short. McFarland is 1 on 3. Got hacked. And it's a really good thing that foul was called, or I'm pretty sure Coach Roberts was going to have a rather sizable reaction. Right down here in front of her. She's made it clear she hasn't liked some of the calls or no calls so far already today. And that will put McFarland at the line. Far and away the scoring leader for the Knights today. And extending that even more, unofficially 14 for her. It's going to bring Shea Wilcox in the game for the Knights. Shorted that one. Knights back in the press. The press has slowed Wesley down on most of their possessions, but I don't believe has created a turnover yet, Mike.
I don't think so. The way that Wesley's gotten most of our points on the runouts have been steals of passes in the passing lanes.
Yeah. They've also effectively lobbed over the top of the pressure more than once. 4 seconds to shoot. They've got to get something up. Nothing. That shot by Brittany Kearns, really just not even close. Like she realized the clock was running out and just had to hurl something up.
Yeah, no communication down there on the offensive end for the Wolverines, which is really playing into the Knights' hands as they force that shot clock violation.
The Knights with a chance now to cut it down to 5 or even 4 with a 3. If they can take care of the ball on this possession, never mind.
Just a little step in there as they telegraph the pass. Again, both teams not executing very well in the second half.
Well, and I don't know that I've seen a pass fake all day by the Knights. They can really create some opportunities if they can get the Wolverines to jump when they're not passing the ball. You're encouraging them to jump that route if they know every time you look like you're going to pass, you're going to pass. That foul going on Brianna Johnson, her second.
Yep, and we have a dear old friend that's a tennis coach here, but when we first started out coaching basketball together, and Coach Dryan used to tell the girls, you got to fake a pass to make a pass.
Yep. Very, very true. Well, when you're not making your opponent think, you're really doing them a favor and yourself a huge disservice. Cause them to make a choice. Gamby helps out Eads on that one. Offensive foul. Very measured response by Gamby. She's gotten very emotional at some foul calls previously, so I can't imagine she liked that one, but contained her reaction very well.
And again, neither team is really doing anything to establish themselves in this second half.
Not at all. That one off the mark as well, and it's going to stay here.
So we've seen
fouls going on Kramer, her first.
We've seen Wesley have point-blank shot after point-blank shot, and that we put it in. And then the Knights can't really get a shot going because of taking or making bad passes.
Yeah, the Knights have got, if they're going to commit so many to rebound, you have to box out. You've got to get position, otherwise it's not going to matter. Great rebound that time. Wilcox elevates. Good look ahead to Eads, who just couldn't collect it. And that could have been down to the lead of 5. But it was just not to be. And that will extend it. The basket by Johnson, leading all scorers with 18. High arching shot, no good. Eads steps through with the rebound. Willett from 3. Really struggling from 3 today. Saw the interior positioning of McFarland, but couldn't get it to her fast enough, which leads to the run out by Gibbs. Lob ahead that time. Gathers her own rebound, I guess you would call it. But
yeah,
stick back, good for McFarland. She's got 16.
Although, realistically, that should have been a self-pass. That's a walk, hit nothing.
Hence the rebound question mark? Wow. Stroud, to me, has been the most complete player on the floor, Mike.
Well, and she's scoring her baskets in big times.
Offensive foul. So, I don't know. I don't have the sheet in front of me as far as physical characteristics of these individuals, but I have a tough time believing that Wilcox knocked down the player in defense right there. That's just me. We've got
momentum.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got Tim Knudsen in the house over here. I should talk to him about Newton's laws. But
yeah, inertia.
Yeah. "10 seconds. Willett jumps out in front of it and can't complete the play. Looking to run back. Wilcox. And that's what I'm talking about. What a great pass.
Yeah, right on the money.
Yeah, no look across the body.
Right into the shooting pocket.
Yep.
But this is where the Knights have to take advantage.
And turnaround. McFarland
does.
Yes, she does. Catches, turns, shoots, draws the foul. 18 points, Mike. She's got more than 20% of the night, or excuse me, more than 40% of the Knights' points in this game. And next behind her is Kramer with 7. She's got more than any 2 players on her team combined. And just such a fast pace yet again. The Wolverines getting it up court. And they can't flock to the shooters fast enough. Tipped around, but those short jumps, just tired legs. An ambitious pass ahead. Connected, but just too difficult a shot to have to take.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing tired legs on both sides now. As you see, Wolverines just settling for 3-point shots and not attacking anymore.
Lobbed across. And a timeout taken by Coach Weirden.
Yeah, that was a bad place for the Wolverines to pick it up. Great place for the Knights to have them pick it up right there in the coffin corner.
Yeah, 30-second timeout there with only 3 seconds left to get it across the timeline. And, boy, like you said, neither team really establishing themselves. It's been really it's been a back and forth contest. Not that the Knights have led, but back and forth as far as who's got momentum and whether that lead is growing or shrinking.
Well, the game's chaotic and choppy.
Very much so.
Just, again, like you said, no rhythm. We've seen point-blank shots not go down. We've seen turnovers that have just really hampered any type of momentum. And the Knights just let the Wolverines walk across the timeline without any type of pressure.
10 seconds to shoot. Loses it on the way up, but then recollects. Wolverines only have 4 seconds to shoot. That's not going to do it. And a shot clock violation. So we've seen a couple of shot clock violations on the Wolverines, a couple of 3-second violations on the Knights.
They cancel each other out, right?
Yeah.
Well, again, that's the lack of continuity on the offensive end by either team. We've seen the Wolverines look very confused on the offensive end, and the Knights just turn the ball over way too much on their offensive end.
It's going to be a foul called on Alexis Stroud, her first. So, yeah, under 2 minutes left in this quarter. Wesley has only scored 11 points. They scored 23 in the first, 21 in the second. So without an explosion of points here at the end, the Knights able to hold them defensively at the moment. But they've got to score more themselves to close that gap. And losing that opportunity at the offensive end is not going to help.
Well, that was a shot that was great for Kramer. At least the Knights were able to get a shot and not turn the ball over without having any type of chance.
Foul on the floor before the shot. And that's going to be Windsor's third. Gotten a fair number of minutes out of her since picking up that second early in the second quarter. But she will stay on the floor.
There you go, Shelby. Good job.
She's currently charged with guarding White. But she's done well. That one, pass just goes awry. Good look ahead. Wilcox out in front. Unable to finish with the layup. And it's going back the other way.
And two of the biggest things that in women's basketball, as there's a lazy pass, and Harpers is able to take advantage of it.
You take them when you can get them, right, Mike?
That's right.
Under a minute in the third quarter. Windsor, good box out for the rebound that time. And that's the fifth foul. It'll put him in the bonus. White picks up her second.
And again, I was going to say in women's basketball, two things that really need to be practiced over and over and over again: layups and free throws.
And we just saw a layup, and now we see free throws. So still only 11 in this quarter for the Wolverines, 14 for the Knights. Make that 15, so they're tied what they put up in the first quarter. They will do 19 in the second. But this is shaping up to possibly be the first quarter where the Knights have outscored the Wolverines, which you have to like heading towards the fourth quarter. Short on that. 45 seconds. And the pass long ahead, but nobody there for the Knights to gather the errant pass. Shot long. The Knights can hold for the last possession. Choose not to. And that'll give another opportunity for the Wolverines. Not a great decision, but speaking of bad decisions, that one thrown away.
Wow, and we're just seeing turnover after turnover after turnover here.
Well, and with the lead down to 6, that's got to, the Knights have got to be happy with that.
Oh, yeah. But you have to think back and say, what if, looking at all the unforced turnovers has happened?
Eads gets the rebound. And the putback is good for Kramer as the quarter expires. A very solid quarter for the Knights, cutting the lead down to 4. So in that quarter alone, the Knights scoring 17 and holding the Wolverines to 11. Their second highest scoring quarter and by far the lowest scoring quarter by Wesley.
Yeah, and again, just a lot of missed opportunities by both teams. I would like to see if we could get the third quarter stats here of turnovers for the Knights and missed three-point shots for Wesley.
Oh, yeah, because that's what a difference in that quarter. Turnovers all over the place. We talked about how in the first half, really the Knights had so many more turnovers, 16-8, 10-5 in steals, doubled up just all over the place with missed opportunities. But in that quarter, certainly the Knights able to create some and perhaps clean up a few of their own, making that differential a lot closer there. And the proof of that is in the pudding, as they say, cutting the lead from 10 down to 4, outscoring the Wolverines by 6 in a quarter for the first time in this game. And so now we do have the stats from the third quarter, comparing them. So Wesley had 7 turnovers in that quarter. The Knights had 7 turnovers in that quarter.
Wesley, though, 1 of 8 from the three-point line in the third quarter, 1 of 9 from the three-point line in the first half. So Wesley's playing into the Knights' hands by just hoisting three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer.
Yeah, and they've shot much better inside. They've been a lot more effective, which begs the question why they're settling for that outside shot. As long as it keeps happening, I don't think the Knights care. Hartvigsson bailed out. Kramer coming to help. The pace of this game seems to be picked up as both teams now realizing how close it is. 8 seconds to shoot.
Kramer got stuck on the underside of the basket there.
Kramer looking for the steal, can't get it. Oh,
and there's
can't
the ball.
do that.
Yep.
Stroud, one of the few mistakes she's made today.
Picked up that pivot foot.
And you could tell there was the pickup and then the kind of lean back to put it down. Did anybody see me? Anybody see? Ah, they saw me.
I think about 3 people in striped shirts saw her.
Tough to miss when you're the point guard there at midcourt, kind of by your lonesome. Gamby from the free throw line. I don't know what she had for breakfast, but she should keep eating it. Offensively, she has been so much more effective today than we're used to seeing. Very impressive. The lead is 2. Almost caught in the air with that.
And again, another three-point shot.
Windsor's starting to box out much better. Gamby with numbers. Offensive foul. Not what the Knights needed in that situation at all. That is her 4th. They need her defensive presence out there, no matter how well she's doing today offensively. That is still, she can do something defensively that no one else on this team can do. They have some other offensive options when they need them. Good dump down. But Gibbs was not expecting it.
And another missed layup.
Hartvigsson happy to collect it and bring it the other way. End to end. And the smile on her face.
Yeah, she knew she was losing the ball on the way up, just threw it towards the rim and got it in.
Sometimes better lucky than good. And a foul down here. That one going against Windsor. Now she's got 4. Tie game as we're heading now into the last 8 minutes. But, you know, it's a good thing. Earlier I was going to say it looks like this might be the first game of the season where fouls have not been an issue, as the three-pointer drops for Stroud. Might be the first game where fouls are not an issue. And now all of a sudden we've got 2 players with 4 apiece for the Knights. Windsor just quick catch and release. She's got 7, but because of the 3 at the other end, the Knights still trail by 1. Across the timeline. Again, a very important game for both of these squads with regards to the CAC standings.
More so for the Knights since they're one down in the win column to these Wolverines.
Oh, and just bouncing out. Whew. Little differences like that can mean the difference in this game with as close as it is. Kramer shoots. Too long. And Wolverines looking to run. McFarland staying out in front. Knights a little confused about who's got who defensively. Poor shot.
Well, again, another attempt at a layup and a miss.
Hartvick's in. Just about lost the handle, but recollects. Long pass over the top.
And again, another 3-second call on McFarland.
There's never a good time
Never.
to have that call.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but when you've got the chance to take the lead, that might be the worst time to have that call.
Yeah.
It may very well be. The Knights swarming defensively. The Wolverines getting across. And a timeout, full timeout taken by the coach of the Wolverines.
Yeah, Coach Weirden understanding that his team is really falling apart here in the second half. Looking very confused on the offensive end and looking very upset on the offensive end after missing several point-blank shots.
Yeah, well, both teams, really that plagued the Knights earlier in the game more than the Wolverines, but we've kind of switched roles there, and as a result, the score situation has reversed as well. Wesley up 8 at the end of the first quarter, up 10 at halftime. That lead cut down substantially to 4 to start off the fourth quarter, but now just a 1-point lead. The Knights yet to lead, but boy, have they kept it very, very close, and now with the opportunity to do so on one possession.
Well, both teams have tried to keep everything close and interesting here in the barn in the CAC this year, just trying to make sure that they get that extra win. Again, the Knights are 2-9 in the conference. Wesley is 3-8. A win here for the Knights will put them in a virtual tie, or in a tie with Wesley in the CAC conference. Still trailing those St. Mary's. St. Mary's lost here to the Knights. The Knights, I guess, returned the favor to them on Saturday and let them win at their home. But again, anytime you get closer to that 6th spot is always good.
Well, the top end of this conference is so difficult. So difficult, but as you mentioned, just a lot of teams right in that same area. Bodies on the deck.
Oh, and that's unfortunate as it gives the Wolverines another 30 seconds.
Time to burn off. You have to like, though, that it's another unsuccessful.
Well, and another
offensive
3-point shot. And another miss.
Another missed layup.
Oh, but they're going to call a foul on that one. That is, saying it got her in the head. Well, I didn't see that.
First.
I was looking up top on the arms.
Fouls very quickly now, adding up 4-0 as far as team fouls. Free throw shooting, not a strong point at the moment for the Wolverines.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of free throw shooting that was strong for the Wolverines.
0 for 2. Willette comes up with it. Looks ahead to Gamby. Wisely slows it down. And the free throw line, and the Knights have taken the lead. Autumn Kramer hits the basket, and a timeout called by Coach Roberts as the Knights take the lead.
Trying to discuss what they're going to do in this last 5 minutes and 51 seconds. If they're going to press, if they're going to get back and play position defense. Noticing maybe that the Wolverines are really trying to just hoist 3 after 3 after 3 and not being very effective at it. Maybe go into a zone, have them shoot the 3, but make sure that the block out assignments are assigned right now.
Well, and I'll tell you what I think it might be. The Wolverines have gotten very few runouts. And when they haven't gotten runouts, they haven't outscored the Knights. So maybe you back off this press a bit and let them set up their offense, because they can only hurt you when they're getting out, in fast breaks. Clearly that's not what they're doing.
No.
But perhaps something worth considering. There was one turnover caused by it earlier, though. I had said there hadn't been any, and right after that, Hartvigsen stepped in for that easy pass. Great tip that time. Kramer sends it over to Hartvigsen.
You got to look inside to McFarland. Got to find McFarland now.
You can see her spending no time in that paint now. No doubt worried about another 3-second call, so she's just flashing through very quickly.
Hand check.
Brianna Johnson picks up her 3rd foul, the first Wolverine to do so.
And Johnson hadn't scored in this second half. 18 in the first half, 0 in the second half, which has really let the Knights come back into this game.
But she was on a lot of those fast breaks. Yeah. 3-pointer is good. Morgan Hartvigsen. And a very fortunate roll from the rim by White at the other end. The Wolverines score, but the Knights still up 2. And all of a sudden, the Knights offense has come alive. Willette now with the basket. The Knights up 4. As you called, Mike, the Knights perhaps setting up in a zone, that drive down the middle. And frustration setting in on the Wolverines. Tiana Gibbs picks up her 2nd foul. Just the 2nd team foul. And what a difference a couple of minutes make. Now the Knights up 4. It's worth saying sometimes it's harder to play with a lead than it is to play from behind. The Knights have had some tough games this year, not a lot of experience doing so. It'll be interesting to see if they have the poise to keep and even grow a lead. That shot, difficult from Eads.
Well, it's going to come down to, can they check out here on the defensive end? If they don't allow multiple shots, then the Knights can go ahead and extend the lead at as much as up to 10 or 15 points.
Good move to the basket that time, and the commentator's curse. Johnson gets her first points at the second half. That foul on Tara White.
Next time I notice something, I'm just not going to say it.
Windsor will come in. We like your observations, Mike. That's what we pay you for.
Yeah, well, not those type, right?
Under 4. Under 4 minutes, the lead is 2. Hartvigsen finds Windsor. And an offensive foul. The basket is no good, and Windsor's done. Just checked back in the game, and a huge call. The lead would have been 4, but instead the lead remains at 2, and Windsor is done. Coach Roberts collapsing to the floor as she saw that call. Now looking for an explanation. To be fair, the Knights have done a lot of very good things today without Windsor on the floor as well. They cannot let this deflate them. It's a lead of 2, but it's still a lead of 2. And now it's a deficit of 1. Alexis Stroud, 19.
Well, again, it's going to come down to rebounding. And that's going to be the 4th on Johnson.
A couple of those have come pretty quickly. That could become very important if this game were to go to overtime. I know we don't use that word around here, but Thrown away that time to Murray. Newsom Murray able to get in the lane. Great ball put back and forth quickly. The lead now 3.
Well, right now they need to get the ball to Kramer and let her attack Johnson.
Kramer. And there will be a foul here. Who it goes on will be important. It will go on Gibbs. Gianna Gibbs' 3rd foul. So I know the Knights are reeling a little bit now, but they have to realize it's only a deficit of 3. There's 3 minutes left, a lot of basketball left to be played. It's important to not tilt.
Well, and right now the 2 best offensive options for the Knights is McFarland inside and Kramer at the high post. And let those 2 make some attacks. If the defense starts to collapse on them, then you find Hartvigsen and Willett out on the 3-point line wide open.
Kramer now with 12 unofficially. Make it 13. Gets a little nod from her there. Happy to see that one going in as if she expected it. The good players do. Joined by McFarland with 18. A 1-point deficit, 2.5 minutes to play. 10 seconds to shoot. Not who you want with that basketball, Mike. Alexis Stroud, 21. The player of the game for Wesley College in my mind, no question.
Yeah, she's made a lot of things happen with the ball in her hands, either for herself or for her teammates. Knights need to really look and try to keep her out.
Hartvigsen, got it! Tie game, 2 minutes left. Throw everything else out. It only matters what you do for the next 2 minutes. Gamby just barely misses the steal. Kramer steps in. Shot is good. Gibbs. Hartvigsen looks to answer. Good pass. And the foul. Kramer just made the last couple free throws.
You know, I know Kramer didn't want to bring that ball down, and she did get the foul, but it would have been nice to see her come down with the ball instead of trying to tip it back up, get the foul and the points.
Especially this late in the game when you spent that so many minutes. It takes so much more energy to redirect that ball, as you could tell by how short that shot was. That one, however, right on the money. The Knights have really struggled at times this season to have multiple scorers. But in this game, they have done very well. Gamby with 8, Hartvigsen with 14, Kramer with 14. Speaking of Gamby, that's what she brings to the table. We'll let 5.
4 seconds to get the ball across the half-court line.
And they do. A long cross-court pass to Gibbs.
Well, now the Wolverines are in a little half-court offense they haven't done well in, as the Knights can check out on this shot, have a chance to go down and take the lead.
9 seconds. Well off the mark, and a foul.
And that's going to be Johnson. That's her 5th.
What a turn of events. That is a 5th foul for Johnson. However, since she picked up her 4th, she's no longer the leading scorer for the Wolverines. Stroud is, who only has 1. But it's still, of course, a huge loss.
And you got McFarland at the line, ready to give the chance for the Knights to take the lead.
Now with a chance to tie. Was that one of those observations?
Yes, it was.
Very short on the second. But steps in, can't quite gather the rebound. Under a minute to play, the Knights trail by 1. 40-second difference, shot clock and game clock. 10 to shoot. Not who you want taking that shot if you're the Knights.
Oh, and that's
the rebound.
Jump ball.
Gamby.
Ball stays with the Wolverines, though.
30 seconds now. An 11-second differential shot in game. That brings Shea Wilcox in. Coach Roberts telling Wilcox not to leave Stroud alone. As I was saying, not who you want taking that shot. Certainly it is who you want taking it if you're the Wolverines.
Not if you're the Knights, though.
Good defense, Gamby getting an arm on that one. Wilcox all over. They're going to force someone else to take it, and an offensive foul. Kramer has been huge in the back end of this game. Gibbs called for it, her fourth. 25 seconds. The Knights have a chance to hold for the last shot.
Well,
and control their own destiny.
And if they take this, don't want to do that. They want to take the shot with about 6 seconds on the shot clock, so there's a chance for an offensive rebound and put back in.
But not enough time to get a run back the other way.
Well, that doesn't even worry.
The lead. That's a good point.
They want to take this shot with about 8 seconds on it to make sure, well, being down one, take it with 8 so you can get the offensive rebound. If not, then you have to get a foul.
20 seconds. Going to Kramer very early. No good. McFarland, turnaround, no good. And a timeout, I believe?
Yeah, timeout, Wesley.
2 good shots. Very, very early in the shot clock, though.
Well, they got the offensive rebound.
Yep.
McFarland had a little bit more time than she thought to just go ahead and put it straight up. The issue now is Wesley did the Knights a favor. The Knights were going to have to foul them there. Now Wesley called the timeout. The Knights get to set up a full court press. You go for the steal. If you don't get the steal by the time the ball gets one pass, you have to foul them.
11.6 seconds left. That's math.
Yeah, the math.
11.6 is less than 30, which is the time you're allowed to hold the ball without shooting.
Well, you could wait until you get across half court, but that would only leave you 1.6 seconds. Right now, the Knights have to go for the steal. If the steal doesn't happen, automatic foul. Just don't foul, though, trying to smack down. Go for the steal. You never know if the referee's going to call the foul or not.
Sure.
The jump ball is in your favor now, so the Knights can get that. The big deal, though, now is in women's college basketball, under 59 seconds, they get to take it out in the front court. So there's no full court pressure that can stop them. The Knights are going to have to go for the steal and then foul.
Well, and front court or backcourt pressure has not been something that's been particularly effective anyway. But 11.6, it comes in. Foul him. Foul him. Somebody foul. Somebody foul. It's got to be so frustrating. Yeah. It's got to be so frustrating at times in the game to have fouls called against you where you don't feel like you did it or you certainly weren't trying, and here you're doing everything but trying to push somebody to the ground and not get the flagrant.
And in those first few seconds, it didn't look like they were trying to go for the foul. They looked like they were trying to go for a steal or a jump ball.
Yep.
Well, the Knights still not out of it. A miss here.
Yeah, White has not done well at the free throw line, but does make that one.
Well, still, though, as you can come down. Like Coach Roberts can call a timeout if the Knights don't try to advance. They can take the ball out here in front of us, set up a nice three-point shot. 7.8 seconds, plenty of time.
I was mistaken, by the way. White is actually perfect at the free throw line.
And she's the only one for the Wolverines that has been shooting well from the free throw line. Everybody else kind of erratic.
Yep.
Now the Knights get to have the ball in the front court, get to set up a three-point play. If I were Coach Weirden, I would say we're going to guard a three-point line. If they want to go in for a two, let them.
Yeah.
Right? The Knights, there's no need for them to be inside the three-point line now. Everything's going to have to be set up. We're looking probably for a screen-to-screener or someone coming off one of the screens, down screen, and a little shuffle screen coming from the side. Willette, probably your best three-point shooter out there, but you don't want to go to sleep on McFarland. A nice pass in and have someone step into the three-point line could be wide open.
Yeah, we don't have up to the moment stats. We do have up to the beginning of the fourth quarter stats. The Knights 3 for 16 from three at that point. They have hit a couple of big ones. I think Hartvigsen has hit a couple. I think she's the best three-point shooter in this game. But we'll have to see who they're able to get it to. 7.8 seconds left.
Well, or you can sit there and go ahead and foul them as they're driving to the basket. Foul them outside the three-point line. Don't let them get the three up.
True.
Let's see what they try to do.
Wilcox, shot is up. No good. Willette well off the mark. Pleading for a call that she will not get. And now with half of a second left, it's pretty much in the books. That's going to put Newsome Murray at the free throw line for the Wolverines. And all of the air just left this building.
Just walked out. We'll have to try to pump some back in here for the men's game. Well, the Knights have had their opportunities.
Yes.
In this game.
And they've improved as the game wore on.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was the first half that put them so far behind that they just couldn't come back.
And that's going to do it. The final score, the Southern Virginia Knights women's basketball team falls to the Wesley College Wolverines.
Half a second left. Shooter violation.
Oh, 0.5 of a second. Shooter violation.
Yes. She stepped over to the end line.
I am relatively certain that will not impact the final outcome of this game, but a rule is a rule.
Yep.
There you go, Willette. Not bad, all things considered, but not going to do it.
May want to go out for the Powder Puff football team.
There you go. So, final score in this one, the Southern Virginia women's basketball team falls 70-74 to the Wesley College Wolverines. So both times they've played this season, the Knights come away with the loss. The men's team lost the first time around as well. They would love to get some revenge here in this next game.
Well, and they're going to need to also. They're sitting there in that sixth spot, two-way or three-way tie for the sixth spot, and a win here would help propel them forward. They have a lot of road games coming up, and the Knights haven't done so well on the road as they have performed really well here in the barn.
It's true. Some very similar situations between the men's team and the women's team. We will see if the Knights men's team can avenge the loss of the women here in just a little bit. As for this one, your final score, the Southern Virginia Knights women's basketball team falls 70-74 to Wesley College. Stick around for the men's game, which will get started here in about a half an hour. We'll see you then.